I feel like Tia-Clair Toomey played us a little bit, and you know what I have to say about that?
Yeah.
I can tell you my problems, meditating my silence. But I keep pushing my pen, rotating my stylus. Brokenness feeling like sin, not no breath, low dollar. Used to be left on red, now all the girls go holler. Now all the girls go follow. All the fake fans gon' pile up. I need peace to borrow, get that shit right back tomorrow. Somehow all the fans go.
Walk into the gym now, and honestly, I have no clue what the workout is. And I probably should know, but when I first started CrossFit, years ago, I would always know what the workout was. Like, I was at a gym that posted the workout just day of, and every day I would check it immediately, and I would know what the workout is. Today, I have no idea, which is probably the truth most days. So we'll get inside, we'll see what we're doing, because I don't know. I know as much as you right now.
They tried to count me out, I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account, now I got something to spend. They tried to count me out, I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account, now I got something to spend. 5, 6, 7, 8. I just pull it out and count for nothing when I'm feeling great. Give my baby little more just to spend it, and I'm always on go. I don't hesitate. Used to always know I make it, yeah. I'll be me until I'm in the grave, yeah. See my record, had to set it straight, yeah. I make to kill like 10 times 10. I got wires coming in. Some in euros, some in sec, some in dollars, some in yen. I've been trying to keep my zen, keep my cool.
I feel like Tia-Clair Toomey played us a little bit, and you know what I have to say about that?
Yeah.
The reason I feel that way is because that's what she should do. It made this whole season a lot more exciting, not knowing exactly what she was gonna do. And what I'm referring to is her announcement that she is going to compete again in 2023.
Down Under Championships.
And 2023 CrossFit Games.
Oh, snap.
At the end of 2022, there were some announcements, not from her personally, but there were some speculation and some announcements from the media team from CrossFit that she was going to be retiring after this season, that this was her last time on the floor.
Move over Matt. Step aside Rich. For the 6th time and for the final time, Tia Toomey is the fittest woman on earth.
So that was at the end of the 2022 games. But then we were in these media conferences afterwards where she basically suggested that may not be true.
This question's for Tia. Tia, you announce your retirement. Or is it a retirement, or are you...
Well, technically, I didn't announce my retirement.
Correct.
But we'll see. There's a bit of a trend going around, announcing your retirement and then coming back. But I'll just keep you guys guessing.
And I made a video talking a little bit about this potential announcement, and one of the things I mentioned was I spoke to people from her camp that specifically said that she was planning on retiring, but they didn't know if she was going to be able to give it up. That they thought there was still a chance that even though her intention was to retire at the end of 2022, that she may not do it. So I feel like the whole time we kind of knew that there was this chance that she wasn't gonna retire. I mean, she suggested that she may not retire, and then she kind of teased us for the last few months.
Back one more time, or is this the end?
That's the question. We'll see.
Hinting at things, hinting that maybe she's retiring, maybe she's going team, all these questions. And you can see like she put up a ton of YouTube videos with sort of suggestive titles that she may be making a big announcement. And then there really wasn't an announcement. It was sort of kicking the can down the road. And it kept us all on the edge of our seats. And I think that was a smart business move for her. I mean, she is selling a product, sure, with proven and all of those things, but another one of her products is herself as an athlete. And she kept us all guessing for months about what was going to be happening next with that product. And I think that is the way she should do it. I mean, if you look at her YouTube videos that she posted hinting about an announcement prior to this actual announcement and including this announcement video, they all did better than most of her other videos. So this has just been, I think, a really smart move for her as an athlete, and I applaud her for that, and I love to see her making these strong moves. So I definitely have nothing bad to say about her, teasing us for the last few months. I also don't think she was pushed this year as much as people sort of say she was. It made it very exciting the way everything shook out, but she ultimately ended up not being in first place because of messing up on a single under, which we all know she can do. And if she hadn't messed up on that single under, she likely would have been in the finals of that event, in the top 5, and she would have had a lot more points. Also, if there wasn't that rain delay on the first day, she would have likely been in a higher placing as well, because the events that were pushed to day 2 were good events for her. She did well on those events. If she had had those scores in after day 1, it would not have been nearly as competitive of a CrossFit Games. I love that it was competitive. It was so fun watching it be competitive, but I think if people are looking at it as if she was slipping because she wasn't in first place or even in the top 3 after day 1, I don't think they're looking at the big picture. So I think she is still very competitive and still is the front runner, even after last year. I think she is undoubtedly the front runner. And I think most people would agree with that. But I think if we look at the bigger picture, she really wasn't as challenged this year as we may have thought based on day 1 results. Looking at her climbing the leaderboard, I'm not sure if those 2 events that were pushed back, if she would have even had to climb. She may have been in the top 3 after day 1 if we had done those events. Also, I think it's smart for her to keep going because her stock is super high. And we don't know where CrossFit is going to be down the line and how long she'll be able to benefit off of being a CrossFit athlete. Now, I am not saying CrossFit is dying. I know there's been some videos about that recently. Definitely not what I'm saying, but CrossFit is still a relatively new sport. It's not like the NBA, the NFL, the NHL. Oh, Carson's here, by the way. If you just saw that nose pop up, he's sitting with me. But it's not like those sports. We still have a long way to go before it's that big of an event. And I think it may never be that big of an event. It just might not be made for that. It's a little bit more of a community thing. It's just not the same system as CrossFit is. And because of that, I don't know if CrossFit will ever be, televised on TV every night. It's just not what the event is like. Maybe CrossFit is more comparable to golf, and maybe it'll grow into something more like that, golf or tennis, where there's some big championships and big tournaments throughout the year, every year, and those are televised and they are a huge deal and there are huge sponsorships behind them. That would be awesome, and I would love to see that one day, but we don't know if that's going to happen. We don't know what CrossFit is going to look like. CrossFit does not have years and decades of history behind it like these other major sports do. So you can't bank on the fact that CrossFit is going to be a major sport 10 years from now and Tia can still be relevant because of that. Unfortunately, like athletes, elite athletes, like, if we're talking about tennis, Serena and Venus Williams, even after they retire, they'll be able to comment on tennis for years to come. They'll be relevant in the space if they want to be for a very long time. We just don't know what the CrossFit space is going to look like. I hope it grows. I hope we continue to see it become an even bigger thing and more people can experience it and have their lives changed by this sport that can be done at this elite level, but is also accessible for anybody. I really hope that that's what we see in the future. But because we don't know, for Tia now, being still as elite as she is and as competitive as she is, and I believe she loves the sport and loves competing, there's no reason for her to really stop, because she might as well benefit while she can. She might as well bank all this money and all the sponsorships and set herself up for the rest of her life to be able to live comfortably and do whatever she wants to do with the rest of her life, because she has a lot of time left, and just take this time to just accumulate as much as she can. It's not like those other sports where you could have a serious career commentating and making tons of money in the future. Like Tom Brady already, I believe, has a huge deal to make a ton of money after he retires as an analyst. He doesn't need to continue playing football to have a huge salary. But at this point, Tia can probably extend her career doing other things aside from CrossFit, just being a name in the space. But how long and how lucrative that's going to be is still a huge question mark. So I think this is a great decision for her. I hope she talks more in the future about why she decided to make this decision. But I do think it's a really good one. I think that she's still super competitive. I think that she's still going to dominate and going to set a record of the most first place wins that's going to be hard to ever beat by anyone else in the sport. I'm excited to see her do it. And I think it's just smart from a financial standpoint if she wants to really see how she could set herself up for the future, because CrossFit is unfortunately still a question mark. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments about this decision and about how she decided to keep us guessing for a while. I think it's great. I love seeing her be this powerful woman in the CrossFit space who is sort of dominating her own narrative and writing her own story and not letting other people write it for her. I think it's been great so far, and I think she made the smart move of keeping everyone guessing and keeping us all watching her Instagram, watching her YouTube, and just getting more eyes on her so she can have more eyes on her all season for what could potentially be her last year, but we don't know, and that's just gonna keep us all guessing. Let me know in the comments what you think. Subscribe and like the video if you had a good time here. I appreciate you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.